Hello everyone, this is the video to explain how to cut up the paper for the Star Blanket project. I'm basing this on some math things that we can use to take some shortcuts. Anyway, so here's the beginning of my project. And I realize as I'm looking at it on the screen, it doesn't look very bright, but this is what I decided to do. And the assignment starts out with having to do the first 4 rounds. So I did red and orange and yellow and blue. If you want to do more than that, more rings than that, you're welcome to, but it's going to take you a long time because as you keep going out with the rings, you're getting more and more diamonds that you have to cut, and it does take a while. Okay. So what I'm going to show you is how I cut them because it's going to save a lot of time. The original project that I found had you with a little piece of paper and you were tracing it like 42 times. And I'm like, no, got to be better than that. So here we go. I tried to write this out in words, but it was horrible. So I'm going to show you it works much better. So what we need to do is we're going to cut these, we're going to draw them in strips, and we're going to basically plan out all the diamonds, and then we're going to cut them at the very end, and it's going to be much faster. So here we go. I just chose green. There we go. You need to see the whole piece of paper. There. I'm thinking it'll show up pretty good. So when I started this, I just randomly thought I was going to be lazy. And instead of measuring 3 centimeters for each strip or 2 inches or whatever, I just grabbed my ruler. And it turned out to be the perfect size. It's not too small because the smaller you make the diamonds, any imperfections show up really bad. And I think if it's too much wider than this, it's not going to fit on the Bristol board that we have. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw the strips. Now, I know my picture doesn't have green on it, but I'll pretend. Let's just say I'm going to change this blue and I'm going to make it green, which means I need 32 strips. Or sorry, 32 little diamond shapes. Okay, so I counted them up here. That's why I'm pointing. So 32 of them. And when I was monkeying around, it looked like I got about 5 diamonds for every strip of paper I used. So I'm just going to quickly go divide by 5. And because it's that kind of morning, 32 divided by 5 gives me 6.4. So there's no rounding. You just go up. So I need 6 and a little bit more. So I'm going to make 7 rows. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ruler, and accuracy is everything in this. Take your time, be as careful as you can. I'm going to line this up all the way along the very edge of my piece of construction paper. And then I'm just going to draw a line. And then I'm going to move it up. And be, again, very carefully making sure my ruler is exactly where that line is. If you want to make your diamonds not this shape exactly, that's okay. I just don't know what size you're going to end up with. Whoops, I didn't even like that. And you just keep going until you've got all the strips that you need. Okay, so I continue with my ruler and I've got 7 lines up to the top of the page. So that's the first thing, and they're all nice and parallel, and they are exactly 1 ruler width, like that. Okay. One thing I should mention, don't worry if you smear this a little bit or you make a mistake, because what I did when I did mine is I just took every single diamond and I flipped it over to the nice clean side when I did the work. So next thing is the most important part. And if you don't do this part accurately, I don't think it's not going to work. I tried to sew an actual star blanket once, and I wasn't very accurate. It was awful. Never got finished. Okay, so the key here is we're going to go down to the bottom corner. Okay. Focus, maybe focus. There it is. So the placement of the protractor is key. So what you want to do is line up it exactly on the corner. Whoops. And of course, there are my lights. There we go. Okay. So the bottom corner of your page needs to be at the 0 line, so straight there. And the vertical line needs to line up with a 90 because we're going to draw a 45-degree angle and be fussy, make it exactly so you've got everything lined up. So if the 0 and the 90 line up with the edges of your paper, you're perfect. And then you're going to make a mark at the 45-degree angle. Okay, which you can see I already did. And then take your protractor and do it again. Just make sure that that mark is at 45 degrees. And now it's bugging me. I want a little bit less. Okay, ta-da. Then you need to take your ruler. And this is going to be the fun part. Sorry about messing with the screen all the time. You're going to line up the corner of the page. Oh, I need to move so you can see. The very corner with that dot you drew, and you're going to extend it all the way as far as you can draw to your top line. Because this is going to be your master 45-degree angle that you only have to draw once on this color. So very carefully all the way up. All right. My page is just slightly bigger. My camera's going to show. Okay, so we started there and we went all the way up to the top up here. As I said, the original project that I found on this had you tracing little diamonds. And no. We're better than that. The dealio is we have to have all the sides of the diamond, which is mathematically called a rhombus, but the diamond exactly the same length. So I could go and measure, but I don't want to. We're actually going to use this. That's a compass, which you probably all use to draw circles. Well, you can also use it to copy line segments, which we've been doing in grade 10. So this is what we do. Put the pointy part in the very corner. So like at the absolute corner, almost slipping off. And then you want to adjust the pencil so it's right at this point. You see that? Just like that. And then I'm just going to come down here and I'm going to make a mark. I could do a full circle. In fact, just for fun. Oh, no, I moved it. Yeah, it goes right through there. But I really only need this part. And then I'm going to mark all the way across that same distance. So every time I just go to where my mark, okay, so there's my mark. And then I take my little compass and I make a teeny tiny arc. You can make bigger ones, it doesn't matter. Because again, this is the back, nobody's going to see it. We go all the way across. And that's going to make sure every one of my diamonds is the same length. Whoops. It's slightly hard. Okay, so I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Today I'm getting 7. Yesterday I'm sure I counted, I only got 5. Right, so we got lines across the bottom. And then I'm going to go up to the top, right? So all of these are my rulers. These are all my strips. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to move this over. And because I'm a paranoid mathematician and I don't feel like redoing this, I'm going to go back to my bottom corner and I'm just going to double check to make sure I haven't moved my compass. Okay. And then I'm going to take that. I'm going to go 1. Oh, it works better up here than 2. It's easier because I've got that pokey there. So that's giving me some, but I'm also going to work backwards because I don't want to waste all this paper that's over on this side. So when I was up here, I'm lining it up with that 45-degree angle because I don't want to have to redraw that or remeasure it. And as many as I can get. I think I can get away with that one. All right, here comes the magic. Now I take my ruler. And I'm going to go. Okay. To get this to the whole page is on there. I'm sorry. I'm going to line up. Here's my first arc here, way down here. And it lines up with an arc up there. So very, very carefully, I'm going to make these match. That one's good. That one's good. I hold down my ruler. And I just made a whole bunch of diamonds. And I'm going to do it again. And make it match up there. There. Looks good. All the way up. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but we've got a big chunk here and a big chunk here that we can't use. So out comes the compass again. I'm going to check it against my first original corner because I'm paranoid that way. And I'm just going to pick this line. You can pick whatever line you want, but just halfway down. And I'm just going to do that arc thing again. Because to draw a straight line, you need 2 points. Minimum. And I should mention, I don't know if this happens all the time, but the width of this ruler is almost the same as the width of this line, but they're not quite there, so I refuse to do it. I'm measuring. So I'm going to measure from my line down here, and I'm going to go through that new one I just drew. That's going to give me some more. Make sure everything's lined up. And just draw all the way off the, all right, all the way off the edge. So I screwed up a little bit in that top corner. That's okay, because again, this is the back. And I'm just going to do it again. Line them up. Pull my ruler down, do it. Oh, I can get one more. There we go. Now, and see, I should be able to hopefully get another space or two out of here. And I'm just going to do the same thing as I did before. Going to measure my corner. Make sure nothing's moved on me. Make a mark there. So this is all about copying line segments and making these rhombuses, rhombi, I was told, so that all the sides are exactly the same length. Whoops. Like that. So I can see like this piece here, and this one here. They're no good. All right. So now I'm going to pause video and I'm going to do the exact same thing up in this corner so that I have as many triangles on here as I can, or many rhombuses as I can. Okay, I changed my mind. Just want to make sure everybody's getting what I'm doing. So I've got my original set of arcs up there for the second set I drew. And now I'm just going to keep doing it. And one of the rules when you're drawing, doing stuff like this is if you have the lines, if the two lines you're connecting are really close together, sometimes they're a little less accurate or it's going to show more problems than if they're farther apart. So that's why I'm not drawing it on the next line. I want to leave a little space in between. Oh, wow. This will make my life easier. Okay, I don't know why I didn't turn the paper before. Line them all up. There. So the other advantage of having everybody use the same width and length of triangles and everything is, you know what, perhaps if you need 3 more green triangles, maybe your buddy has them. And if they've measured as carefully as you have measured, it should be golden. Okay. So I think I said I needed 32 and I have way more than 32 on here. But ta-da, there we go. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to very carefully cut these strips. Okay, I don't need to demonstrate how to cut strips. You're smart. Cut the strips and then cut them into the diamonds. And I'm just looking at it. It's bothering me that it's all schmeary and I've got stuff written. But again, when we do the project and actually put it together, we're going to use the other side, so it's going to look great. Have a lovely day, and I hope this project works out well for you.